Yeah, and you know what? And again, like you always say, there is nothing wrong with that life. And in a lot of aspects, I envy them motherfuckers sometimes, eh?
Mm-hmm.
Because you know what? When you a normal motherfucker, right? The first thing you get, let's say you one of them motherfuckers, right? You getting a check every week, every 2 weeks. And your job, you have certain work hours, right? You might work from 6 in the morning to 2 or 3 in the afternoon, right? When you get to come home, you get to go do what the fuck you want to. You ain't got nobody bothering you. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
But like with our profession, for example, we might have to go jump on a plane and be in the airport for 6 hours out the fucking day, right? You gotta be away from your family. You got motherfuckers, you can't sit in a restaurant without a motherfucker harassing you sometimes. Not saying that we don't like talking to people, you know, our fans, it's cool to meet fans, but when you go to work, that shit is turned off. With this shit that we doing, dog, it's 24 hours a fucking day. And people feel like they can get in your business.
Wow.
Or just say shit to you, say whatever the fuck you want to. Because see, when you the common man, you just at home chilling, you doing your thing. You go to a restaurant, if a motherfucker dish you looking at them like they crazy. You like, excuse me? You going about your business. With this shit, you open game for every motherfucking body.
Well, definitely. Well, that comes with the territory. And I've been in the entertainment business since I was fucking 17 years old. You're open for that. And it wasn't so bad back then when I first jumped into it, but now that is the direction of everything today. Exposure and finding out shit and trying to have a motherfucker rattle your life. It seems like the norm nowadays. Like I said, back in my days, it wasn't so much frowned upon, even if you did get into situations. But today, shit, that's the number one thing, man.
Yeah, it is, man. And don't get me wrong, I feel blessed and fortunate because you know you work hard to attain some of the things that you have, right? But I just tell people all the time, anytime, man, somebody paying you to do something and it seems like it's easy, there's a reason why motherfuckers get the money they get, because you can go through a bunch of bullshit.
Oh, definitely.
And ain't nothing worse. And you know what was bad with the music, bro? I'm gonna tell you why the music industry was so bad with it, because motherfuckers always thought you had more than what you had. It's like your fame might be bigger than the money you got.
Oh, that was all. Well, some people that's the case. Like I said, back then in the early days, you know, you fascinated with celebrities and stars and shit like that. I don't know what a motherfucker was getting on their contract, but you couldn't tell me a motherfucker that I was watching on the big screen or listening to on a record wasn't a millionaire twice over, maybe 3 times. It's just what people anticipate from that walk of life. You get me? Now, shit, if you're a motherfucker delivering mail every day, or you a motherfucker picking up the trash every Friday, or the motherfucker who classroom you walking in teaching you, you not giving a damn. You get me? That's a normal motherfucker. So to them, no matter, you could be the foreman, you could be making $100,000 a year, living in a nice, comfortable crib, and you good for you.
And not have no pressure.
But the expectations of the fan or the outside looking in is, man, please.
You know what I think that is too? I think that's a big part of it. I think people at home, like, you know, women, children, they look at people that's on TV, oh, they are doing something extraordinary. So they got all this money. You feel what I mean? It's like, I think people are, I wonder how many people are disappointed once they do get in the industry.
I guess it all depends on what your expectation is. And like I said, for myself, I didn't know what the fuck to expect. But my being intrigued with becoming an entertainer or a rapper or whatever you want to say, gangster rap or whatever, I was just fascinated by the situation. I didn't know what the fuck the fat boys was getting. I didn't know. All I seen was limos and fat dookie ropes, and niggas had their pictures in Right On magazine and Word Up and shit like that.
That's what you wanted to be on Word Up?
And I was a kid and I had all the little posters up on my wall, and nigga, there was Eric B and Rakim, nigga, and there was UTFO and Heavy D and the boys and shit, and I didn't know what the fuck. Them niggas got on fat dookie ropes and nigga, they had a motherfucking limousine.
For real.
And so I never questioned like, nigga, I'm finna be an overnight millionaire, because I was hanging around with regular niggas who was, these niggas is doing beats and got studios and shit like that. And these niggas just as broke as me. Mm-hmm. And nigga, I'm just a young hustler and shit. And so it never, I don't know, I never thought of the money end of it. To me, as a motherfucking naive-minded kid, nigga, I thought you made it just by being able to put a record out.
Yeah, for real.
I don't know if I even thought about.
But you know
well, am I finna make some fucking money, or if nigga finna have me a fat dookie, give me a couple of limo rides?
Because you ain't thinking about all that. You just thinking about the whole pop, and really you just want to do your shit. But you know what's funny? You put your first record out, what, 30 years ago?
Yeah.
30 years ago. So I was listening to some shit that YG said, and YG, I ain't gonna say he's a new artist. He's been in the game for a minute now, but I heard him say, man, he was like, I didn't make no money with Def Jam. Outside the check that they gave me when I first signed her, I didn't see no more money from them. So you think about it, shit ain't changed. He said he got this stuff right now, and it seemed like everybody kind of get that introduction because they taking the risk. They are taking a risk, you know. It's because for every artist that come out, man, I think maybe only 25-30% of them actually work or paying out.
Contracts are fucking tricky. You get me? I don't know if anybody really, and I don't know, like I said, being young and naive and not having the knowledge of entertainment contracts and points and publishing and all that type of shit. A lot of us were naive as far as what the bottom line is going to be. Mm-hmm. Shit, I put out 3 records in my first career, and I never seen a royalty check. And a lot of niggas are in the same situation. You try to make money off of what they gonna advance you to make the record. That's how you try to get some money in your pocket, and you know what you can make successfully off of touring. Mm-hmm. Because if you have your contract set up straight, label ain't getting none of your touring and shit. So you get to pocket all of that. But as far as you know, signing your first deal and thinking you finna put out a record, and a motherfucker ain't even come tell you, nigga, you got a platinum record. And nigga, you sitting up at home going, I got a platinum record, but I'm still sitting up at home. You get me? I'm in the same spot I was in 8 months ago with a platinum record. Because you don't realize, nigga, they charging you for licking a stamp in that motherfucker. You get me? And you don't really pay attention to that. Like, okay, nigga, I'm going back and forth to New York, and we doing these contracts and these deals, and nigga, I'm going to have lunch here, and I'm doing this and that, and the whole time they going charge back, charge back, charge back, charge back. So you could have a motherfucking platinum record and still like, nigga, I didn't see a dime when that record came out. Did you ever see
anybody else's shit on your sheet?
What you say?
You know they got the sheet that they show you all the bills that you got in there?
Oh, man, please.
Did you ever see any other artist shit on your shit?
No. I mean, when I did, My first projects, I didn't do guest appearances and shit. I didn't start getting people on my records until maybe my third album, because a known who probably knew the cost of shit, and knowing that this hand was in the pot, this hand's in the pot, this hand is in the pot. By the time the money come to me, I'm really the nigga who has to go out and pay for this record to get done, right? So by him being able to control that shit, knowing at that time, shit, a nigga cost you $30,000 to get on your record. You get me? Back then, it wasn't no, favor for a favor, or, beat makers was like, oh man, here, respect, let me give you this beat and whatever and blah, blah. Nigga, back then, it was, oh, you want a beat from Dre, you want a beat from whoever the producers was at the time, man, you spending anywhere between $5,000 and $20,000 for one single beat. So when you controlling that shit, man, I got 90,000. You think I'm finna give up 20 to pay for a nigga to be on Eiht's record? Man, please, we ain't getting no guest appearances, and that's why I'm gonna control the production. So even if I did want beats from another motherfucker, it wasn't able to happen, because a nigga knowing the actuality, we ain't got no $1 million budget.
Hell no.
Nigga, I got 90 grand and 50% of that I want to stick in my pocket. So now I got to figure out a way to really do this record for about 30 grand.
Yeah, you need to get you some money, and that's why it was cool for you to work in-house with your own producer and all that shit.
Right. I mean, but that's why I was kept in-house all the way, and I just figured by the time I was able to take over, I might as well keep the shit in-house. I'm not finna start running to, so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so, because now I'm gonna be in the same position. Nigga, I got motherfucking 200,000 and beats is 20 grand. You getting? To complete a whole record is my whole budget. So you have to start producing for yourself, or working with a team of motherfuckers that you go, I'm setting this aside for the budget as far as production go, and this what it is. So that's what you have to start doing. But knowledge don't come along, because when you young and naive, man, the dream of just taking yourself out of what you going through every day, and especially if you a nigga in the hood selling dope, gang banging, or just being a poverty motherfucker. I don't want to take myself out of this. Nigga dangle 15 grand in your face. You thinking that's gonna change everything. You're not knowing the ins and outs, so it's difficult. And like you said, everything is like a mirage. It's not what it seems, because niggas will be fronting like, nigga, I got 10 million off of this shit. And knowing damn well, no you don't. There's no way possible. If you do that, the actual real situations of a contract and how points work and how them motherfuckers chart, motherfucker, I was on the phone for an hour with your manager, $1,000. Everything is charged back to you. You feel me? So it's kind of rough.
Yeah, you know what though, man? I tell everybody, I've been in some movies and shit, man. I like to act. I think acting is the shit. Out of all this shit, I think acting is probably the best shit.
Yeah.
Acting is probably the best shit. They get paid. I think that's because they got a union too. I think there needs to be a union in music. Because you still got the same shit that was going on 30 years ago going on today. Today it's a little bit better because you got companies like Empire and shit like that, who structure their deals a little bit more artist friendly. They actually giving cats their own labels and shit like that. So I think it's a little bit better today, man, but there's still a lot of fuckery going on.
Yeah, it is, because motherfuckers still pick and choose who they want to invest in. It's still not a fair playing field of, you got a good song, so same thing we do for you, you know, we do for them, we gonna do for you. It doesn't work like that. If you're not gonna invest in my project, then how my shit's gonna make any noise like you doing the other motherfucker, you know? They got videos, they got billboards, you scheduling clubs for them because you believe in that project. I always feel that if you don't believe in the shit, you don't feel you can do what you can do for anybody else, then a lot of times that's how motherfuckers get caught up in these deals, and then situations turn real ugly and nasty sometimes in these situations of label deals and independence, because you want a fair shot, just like the the rest of the motherfuckers, because you feel your shit is just as good. Might be, might not be, and I guess that's where you gotta roll the dice. But there's a lot of good shit that's being overlooked. Yeah, because people just have their preferences of what they want to believe in.